Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. With special thanks to Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Antonio Hernandez, Dragon Matrix 7, Exsellsior, Lima, Nathan Welch Jr., and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to the Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous beta, as we embark upon the beginning of the end of this particular beta series, because we will of course be jumping into a new launch series as soon as I can, get my hands on the launch build. With that in mind, I figure we've got enough time for about 3 more episodes of this series before I lose access to the current build, for, reasons. So I've more or less settled on exactly what I'd like to try to do, though of course there is the chance that things will get somewhat derailed. Crits happen. That said, today we are going to send what's left of our army up north. We're going to knock out that keep and maybe a few of these other armies while we're at it. And then our main party will be heading east to enjoy what I'm sure will be a nice, relaxing birthday party. Let's go ahead and do the Crusade stuff first. That auto-resolve is so pessimistic. Let's go ahead and trim those ghouls first. Nice, solid hit. And this tree is blocking our movement, so let's go ahead and reposition our line. Yeah, that works. Okay, engage the champs. I think the ghouls can still paralyze, so we need to finish them. Yeah, see, they're still prompting a fort save. Problem solved. Now we just have to clean up the stragglers. Almost done. There we go. The cultists protected their caravan of valuable supplies to the death, but the Crusaders prevailed. It seems that the demon worshippers plundered the treasures from nearby Sarkorian ruins. Did they? I feel like we've got some decent, plausible deniability here. Alright, let's go ahead and trim the 3 easier armies here, the ones in green. And then maybe we'll hit the ones in the back. I'm not so sure about that 6, but I think we can take the other 2. Obviously, we're going to win this one, but I figure it'll at least showcase some different units. Oh, what is... Stinking Cloud, okay. I did not realize dretches could do that. Wow, that neutralized our entire main infantry. Okay, I think we've got this. There we go. Man, if we had flubbed more saves, that could have crippled our entire army. Just goes to show, you can't let your guard down. The dretches hitched to overloaded carriages had no chance of escaping, and their masters preferred death over giving up their cargo without a fight. The wagons were full of treasures plundered in the chaos of battle for Canabras. Well, bad news for them, but good news for us. We will put it to good use. Once we've got more troops available, that is. Ash Giants. That might be a bit much. But I think we can pretty comfortably take the 4. And I believe Locusts are bugged in the current build, so we can probably take that 5 as well. Yeah. The Locusts are just going to sit there. Now, we can focus on these guys. Ooh, lovely. So we can definitely take that rank 5 army. Discari's slaves fought fearlessly and relentlessly, like insects swarming around a flame without any awareness of what they were doing. When the last of the demons had fallen in battle, the Crusaders could finally take in what exactly they had been fighting for. For many years, these old salt mines had provided the local alchemists with their most valuable ingredients. And now, they would do so again. Neat. Salt. I know. Salt is important. It's just funny getting it as a reward for defeating an army of demons in a high fantasy campaign. Oh no, we're doomed! Yep, still bugged. I think the locust swarms are non-functional placeholders in Beta 3. They were just added in this build. But I imagine they will be quite a bit more obnoxious once we hit launch. Our clerics have got the babao. A vow handled. Moving up. Those champions are still pretty tough. Go away. And we are pretty much done. Just need to go clear out the placeholder. I've got to say, I'm not really a fan of the shieldmen. They are definitely durable, but they have no offense. And unfortunately, in Crusade mode, offense is really what's going to win you these fights. Not really a hard-won victory, but we'll take it. And like I said, I'm sure those guys will be a whole lot more annoying once we hit launch. I mean, if they follow standard swarm rules, they might require magic to destroy, which at the moment would just be our general. The enemy, which threatened to strike at the rear of the Crusader army, was defeated. The Crusaders can approach Dresden with no need to watch for an attack from the rear. Oh, right. Well, I guess it's a good thing we took them out then. Not sure if it actually makes a difference, but better safe than sorry. Level up, which nets us Penetrating Strike. That's a nice one to have in our pocket for when we tangle with enemies like those gargoyles. And we also have an assortment of magic abilities to choose from. And honestly, we don't need more energy. We're doing fine there. And we don't have any spellcasting units, so that middle one would be a good long-term investment, but it's not useful to us now. Which means I guess we'll go for higher saves. Which honestly does make sense, given our recent encounters with the ghouls and dretches. Let's wait out a day, then we'll take out this level 4 army, and then we'll double back and take out that tower. That'll be it for the crusading. Alright, so once again, let's start with the ghouls. Very nice. Now the flies. Zombies are almost on us. Let's go ahead and soften them up. Almost done. Yeah, let's get these guys out of here. The zombies were just basic meat shields. Almost no offense. This old Sarkorian graveyard was ravaged by a group of flesh-eating ghouls. They mangled the corpses or turned them into walking dead. But the valuable items buried in the graves proved to be of no interest to them. Hey, we actually got an item out of that one. Magician's Ring. This ring grants the wearer a +5 competence bonus on all use magic device skill checks, and increases the save DC against all spells of the illusion school the wearer casts by 2. Well, that would actually be a fairly solid item for Nenio, given that her 2 specialty schools are illusion and evocation. Sadly, our current party will not get much use out of that. Okay, let's go knock down that tower, and I think we're just about done with crusading. Obviously, this isn't going to be much of a fight, but we have to take the tower out, or else our party can't move past it. Oh, let's move up the clock a bit. Time only passes when your party's moving, or when you deliberately skip time. Actually, let's go ahead and auto-resolve this one. Those losses are pretty minimal, and, as I recall, gargoyles are a pain. Victory text goes here. Now, our route to Dresden should be clear, and our camp moved, which previously has only happened right before major events were triggered. The storm, the river crossing, where we were approached by the Hell Knights, and then Leper's Smile. So let's scout ahead real quick. Ghouls and gargoyles. Gargoyles. Ah, the Lost Chapel, which does appear to be blocking our movement. So that's something our party will have to handle. Likely the final major obstacle between us and Dresden. You know what? Let's go ahead and take these guys out too. Oof. I'm sure we can do better than that. Alright, let's go ahead and whittle down those gargoyles. Huh. Gotta say, I was really hoping for more than that. We'll go for the ghouls instead. Yep, these guys are going to be a pain. Shoot, I think I think our footman just lost a turn. Okay, that's enough of that. I was really hoping the shieldmen could finish them off, but they just do not have the damage output. Much better. Having driven out the monsters, the Crusaders discovered that which had drawn their attention: graves. During their retreat from the Lost Chapel, its last defenders stopped here to bury their comrades, whose wounds were too severe. The clerics can sense the god's blessing on the ground, where their faithful warriors were laid to rest. Very nice, though not of particular use to us at the moment. And yeah, looks like that was just a short offshoot with an optional reward. Okay. That's a solid 20 minutes of crusading. Now I think it's time to kick back and enjoy some festivities. Maybe even solve a mystery or two while we're at it. Heaven's Edge, Count Hernandez's family estate. The manor was abandoned after a tragic event claimed the lives of everyone inside in a single day. With one notable exception. Oh, no Kaiser. Come on, Darren, you couldn't give me a +1?
My not so numerous, but nonetheless dearest guests. About a year ago at my last birthday party, I assured you all that I nurtured a deep-seated hatred for boring people who give protracted speeches in the misplaced belief that their inner thoughts are of any interest to anyone but themselves. Now I am a whole year older, and also a full-fledged crusader, an honorable position that requires me to be as dull, pedantic, and vexing as I possibly can. Therefore, a speech it is.
Darren's face is impossible to read. He has his usual half-smirk fixed in place, his eyes gleaming with excitement. But his anxious gaze wanders for just a moment too long before he begins his speech.
The revered cleric Nestrin, my guardian and tutor, often told me that those who live a sinful life may expect to join the abyssal hordes after they die. This is why their path is the most despicable of all. A part of their soul may return to Mendev in the abominable form of a demonic invader. Every time we see a demon, we might as well think about it. What if this wretched creature used to be your great-great-grandfather? What if certain parts of this pointy-tailed beauty used to belong to your pious cousin? They say that the demons represent the sins of the souls they are made of. Succubi emerge out of lustful souls. Vandals turn into Abracandilu. Glutens become Nabasu. I, for one, am determined to commit as many different sins as possible so that the distributive mechanism of the abyss breaks when it tries to decide what to do with my soul.
Oh, well, I guess that's noble.
You, my dearest guests, will be my assistants in this complicated task. Eat, drink, and indulge yourselves in whatever vices you can. Let nobody leave this house as righteous as they entered it. Live every day like it's your last. After all, nobody knows when that day will arrive, do they?
Darren smirks, finishes his wine, and tosses the glass to the ground. How interesting. Inquisitor Leoder whispers in your ear from behind. Did you find anything? Nothing, really. I just took note of a few things. I attempted to find out whether anything unusual or mysterious has happened to the Count over the last 10 years. During my conversations with his acquaintances, 2 people noted that he never speaks of the revered Nestrin, the priest of Iomedae who was his guardian and tutor. Yet he just mentioned Nestrin in his speech, whatever that might mean. In the past 10 years, anything there? Some of his servants complained about strange occurrences in the house, like objects moving by themselves or candles going out. Of course, that could simply be a figment of their imagination. It is also very well known that the Count often invites various spellcasters to entertain him, and encourages them to use their magic in mischievous ways. Practically the whole of Mendev knows the story about the 3 drunk wizards and their teleportation race across the roofs of Canabris after a party at the Count's house. What I'm trying to say here is that any fluctuations in residual magic at this house are not at all surprising. There was the matter of the abduction, however. A gang of bandits kidnapped the Count hoping for a ransom, but the only reward they got was death. Afterwards, the Count told everyone that he had hired the bandits himself as a joke. The other mercenary squad that freed him and executed the bandits was also in his employ. Oh yeah, Darren told us about that. A rather sordid tale. Nobody really wanted to delve too deep into this case after confirming the identities of those wretched cutthroats. But there was one disturbing fact about it all, and I don't mean the Count's bizarre idea of fun. The mercenaries who supposedly freed him had also cut off the bandits' heads, after they had already killed them. Okay, Darren neglected to mention that detail. Their heads were cut off? You mean the bandits who attacked Darren? Yes, perhaps I wouldn't have even noticed this detail had I not visited Heaven's Edge right after the tragic incident. I remember that we also found several headless bodies, both of guests and demons. We thought they had been decapitated during the fight. You know, my companions have been finding severed heads among their belongings recently. Strangely, things like this weren't a problem before Darren joined the party. What? That is an alarming coincidence. Now we have another reason to conduct an investigation. It is crucial that we find out what exactly happened at that tragic feast. And how do we do that, Hawkblade? Now that's the hardest part. I need to dive deep into the past of this place, which requires casting several different spells over some time. It would be very convenient for me if nobody interrupted the process, especially the Count himself. I don't think he remembers my face, but a suspicious stranger casting unknown spells might attract his attention. All in all, what I want you to do is to distract the master of the house. Right now, he is playing host in the very place I'd like to start with. Okay, how do I distract him? I don't know. Maybe your companions can assist you somehow? Or you can take a look around. Perhaps there's something that can help us. Understood. Good luck. Come back to me when the Count leaves. I will tell you everything I managed to find out, and maybe even show you something. All right. A mystery is afoot, so let's get a-steppin'. I can imagine how lovely this manor must have been before the war. I yearned to set up my easel in one of the pleasant little alcoves, and paint to my heart's content. I see So-So got to bring his wolf. That's fair. The decorative plants are in a miserable state. They've been neglected for many years. Okay, we have a whole mansion to loot, to explore. So let's chat up our companions and see if we can find any clues or hints on how to approach this. So, I somehow landed at the party of a royal brat? Go figure. You never know when, or if, you'll get another chance to rest and have some fun during wartime. I'd rather take my chance while I can. I see. That is very helpful, thank you. This estate could be remade into a formidable defensive outpost. It should be expropriated for the sake of the war effort, and the owners compensated, after victory is secured. I do enjoy the occasional expropriation. There are occasional traces of older masonry and foundations. It looks like the building was reconstructed several times. Ah, this looks promising. Draven's hat. +2 profane bonus to intelligence. And slow or haste spells are quickened. And once per day, the hat can also make any spell quickened. Interesting. Quickening is normally what? A 4-level adjustment? So that would be a really good item. Even if it is mostly limited to haste and slow spells, because those, of course, are both fantastic spells. Yeah, I could see that being useful on Woljif or Nenio. Either one of them could fire off a quick haste or slow, and then use their standard action to do something else. Of course, then again, it also looks to be an obvious, unfinished placeholder item, so there's no telling if it actually works in the current build. Okay, the intelligence bonus works. I might just have to try this thing out. I also have noticed a bit of a trend in Beta 3 with these companion quests. A lot of them suddenly have these fantastic new items just randomly scattered in them, which I believe is intended to encourage the player to take those companions along even if they don't plan on using them. I mean, you do still have the option to send pretty much any companion away, or even kill them if you want, but then you'll miss out on some really nice gear. It seems there's a hidden cache inside the wall. You can see a keyhole among the decoration. Intriguing. The Knight with Harrowed Hands, we've seen that. A Thousand Revolutions and The Legend of the Pathfinder by Aaron Rorvey. I think both of those are actually holdovers from Kingmaker. Oh my. Something tells me they may have accidentally set diamond dust to non-stacking. Clear purpose. These bracers allow their wearer to cast healing spells without provoking attacks of opportunity. They also grant a +2 bonus on concentration checks. So that's essentially something we are expropriating from Darren and then giving right back to Darren. Happy birthday, Darren. I found this in your room. Thought you might like it. We'll leave the rest of the diamond dust there. Don't want to overfill our inventory. Countess Selena Nevia Dara Arende, with her infant son, Darren. Unlike the typical aristocratic portraits, this one depicts a young mother having fun with her child on a garden swing. I don't like it in here. This party is stupid. Ember, as, insightful as ever. Thank you. The psychological premise for mortals' attractions to sites of mass murder, or gluttony. Which article from my encyclopedia should I focus on now? What, you can't multitask? She probably just forgotten how to do it. Oh, it's you. Do you remember me? I called upon you to save the Count in Canabras. Oh yeah, I remember that. And yet you still have no name. That does not bode well for you. Everything here is just so sparkly. I'm just gonna take a look at this thing and put it right back. Honest. It's fine, Waljiff. I don't think Darren minds if we expropriate a few things. The door is sealed and looks like it hasn't been opened in a very long time. Alright, so... Oh, hi there. I adore this estate. So much beauty, so many quiet nooks. Well, we found some nice stuff, but our companions were basically no help. Fine. I'll do it myself. Darren, who has been watching the guest with an unreadable expression, turns his head to you and says in a casual tone, like he's continuing a conversation that was interrupted, I have always considered myself an aesthete, not a hero. When doomsday comes, I thought, I'd pour myself a glass of 100-year-old wine, sit in the front row, and just watch the world burn. Playing the violin was also an option. Now I'll be damned if I know how I ended up in the 5th Crusade. How did I become the companion of a hero chosen by Iomedae? Good question. Perhaps this is your chance to finally do something worthwhile. What would you have me do, then? Dance a waltz on Dresden's ramparts with a charming courtesan? Sounds worthwhile to me. So, tell me more about Heaven's Edge. This estate was once a truly beautiful sight, with its lush gardens and placid ponds. Darren smiles briefly. It is a genuine smile, quite different from his usual half-smirk. The house itself is not that large, however. This land was part of the border region even before the World Wound, so my ancestors took that into account when laying the foundation. The larger the mansion, the harder it is to defend. I'd gladly give you a tour, but I'm afraid there's not much to see here. I didn't have much time, so my servants only managed to clean up this yard, the Great Hall, and a couple of rooms. There's nothing interesting about them, except perhaps the magical firefighting system, powered by water elementals. I'm not sure it's still functional, though. Okay. The water elemental thing sounds like it could be useful. Let's start with something simple. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. And did you also not mean to ruin a suit that cost more than a thoroughbred? Don't fret, I have a spare. Just you wait. When I return, I shall look even more stunning. Oh, well that was easy. And it looks like everyone else has moved too. Interesting. I wonder if they have new things to say. They do. But I will refrain from chatting everyone up. They didn't have anything useful to say last time, so I doubt that's changed. We'll try to stay on task. I see that you did your part, Commander. Thank you. Now get ready to watch and listen closely. I will unravel the past of this place, and try to show you whatever I find. The hum of voices, laughter, and music fills your mind. Then the visions come, fragmented and hazy at first. They eventually coalesce to reveal a single face. It is a woman of stunning, heavenly beauty, and her delicate features instantly tell you who she is. The family resemblance to Darren is obvious. My dear guests, the Lady of Heaven's Edge welcomes all of you today. I hope this day is as bright for you as it is for me, because on this day my only precious, sometimes arrogant but utterly beloved child was born. A child is usually a reflection of their parents and caretakers. Countess, will you allow the humble tutor of this young man to address the guests, and the man of the hour as well? A new face appears. It is a handsome old man with a strong, dignified posture, and a voice that emanates power. Can't we have just one day without your sermons? It is my birthday, after all. 10 years ago, the young Darren had an utterly angelic appearance. His table manners and expression lacked the dignity of a true angel, however. Day, I'm sure the revered Nestrin only wanted to hug you and offer you his best wishes on your birthday. Wait, what's that noise? The shrill laughter rings in your ears and reverberates in the base of your skull. In the vision, a Lolito appears before the guests of the estate and gives them an exaggerated, scornful bow. The sorceress of evil has come to your celebration, mortals. Did you prepare a treat for me, too? What do you want, spawn of the abyss? I've already done everything I wanted to. Hey you, doddering cleric, look around. Don't you notice anything odd? The plague is in your wine, in your food, in the air around you, in your blood. Soon you will all die. Pray to your pathetic goddess and call upon your healing powers all you want, but they're not going to help you. Nothing will help you. I will give you a chance to see it for yourselves, and when I return, the grave realization will have already sunk its teeth into your throats. Oh, how I love watching mortals in their final, desperate hours. The demon finishes her speech with an air kiss to Darren, making him freeze in horror, and disappears. Leoder shakes his head and slowly exhales, rubbing his temples. The first appearance of the disease and the Lolito, one of the many sisters of the accursed Monago. So far, everything I've seen matches the official version of events. Who are those people in the vision? Countess Elena Arende was Darren's mother, and one of the most beautiful women in the history of Mendev. She was an Aasimar, just like her son. The old man is the esteemed cleric Nestrin, our count's guardian and tutor. He was well known for his unfaltering faith and iron will. I was only passing acquaintances with him, so I can't tell you anything more than that. I didn't recognize the others. but Darren told me that the first victims of the disease were his second cousin and the cousin's wife, hailing from the eastern border. Surely the cleric could have done something. I can't say for certain, but I believe there was nothing he could have done. Magical diseases are already difficult enough to cure, and this plague struck very fast indeed. Now we must find out what happened next. How do we do that? I can sense the aftershocks of a very strong outburst of emotions and memories somewhere in the west wing of the house. Something must have happened in one of the rooms. So please, check if anyone is in there and distract them if need be. Sure. I suppose that's as good a plan as any. Don't mind me, folks. Just passing through. Hey, Woljeff. Enjoying the party? I just saw a portrait of Darren's mom. So, she was an Aasimar too, huh? Some people get a celestial bloodline, tons of money, and a title, while others get horns and a slap in the face. Yeah, that is just how life works. Sorry, buddy. Gotta roll higher on those background tables. Oh, Darren, Well, I have created quite an awkward situation for myself, haven't I? Darren arches a brow at you, but he doesn't seem to be disturbed in the slightest by your entrance. He's not trying to cover up or get dressed any faster. Commander, I assume that you have an urgent matter that requires my attention? Yes, of course. What is this room? Darren casts a look around the room as if he had never seen it before, then shrugs carelessly. Just a random room. I told my servants to make some rooms ready. This is one of the rooms they chose. Darren, I am absolutely confident that you won't be able to persuade Sela to dance with you. Oh, I can imagine it. A lady graciously tearing down the curtains with her shield, her armor clinking melodiously to the music. I wonder if I could keep a straight face and drip honeyed words in her for the whole dance? You've given me a brilliant idea. Oh, Darren, she is going to eat you alive. Well, it was nice knowing him. I see that you were able to do as I asked. Prepare yourself. This vision might be rather difficult to watch. Young Darren stands motionlessly by the Countess's bed. His face is pale with fear, and for good reason. His mother's heavenly beauty is gone. Her smile, once beaming with vitality and happiness, looks more like the grimace of a corpse. Only her golden hair still glows, a sad reminder of the healthy young woman she was just a few hours ago. Mother? Can you hear me, Mother? Day, my boy, how did you get here? The Countess's voice is fading. Don't come any closer. This disease. Mother, listen. The revered Nestrin has sealed the gates. He says that he won't let anyone leave the estate. If the plague reaches the larger settlements, nobody will be able to stop it. He claims this is why the demons attacked us in the first place. They knew that we would call upon the strongest clerics to heal us, and those clerics would catch the disease and die as well. The Fat Baron and his family tried to escape, but 3 armed paladins barred their way and said they would not let them go. Mother, we need help. Canabras is full of clerics, wizards, and demons know who else. They might know how to stop it. We need to get there as soon as possible. We must obey the revered Nestrin. We are the lords of Mendev, and we must protect our people. If the plague, if it reaches Canabris, thousands of innocent people will die. I don't care about any innocence. Darren's voice rises to a shout. You're ill, Mother. You're dying. You must tell them to open the gate and take you to Canabris. They won't listen to me, but you are the lady of the estate. They can't refuse you. I can't. I must. Please leave, my dearest. Don't lose hope. You can still... A convulsion overtakes the Countess's body. Her last words are swallowed by a long, guttural groan. Leodor wearily rubs his temples, but his face is unreadable. Now I have an answer to one of my many questions. Nobody went to Canabris in search of help, because the revered Nestrin didn't let them. He valued the safety of the city more than the lives of his flock at the estate. What a difficult choice it must have been. All lives are equally valuable. How could he refuse to save them just because he thought some other people might suffer? The magnitude of potential disaster made him do so. Or perhaps it was a matter of his dignity. No one wants to be responsible for wiping out an entire city. Leodor rubs his chin thoughtfully. I have never been in the revered Nestrin's position, but I know the price of difficult decisions, especially those that you have to make quickly. I have no right to judge him, but we must continue our investigation. The next site I'd like to examine is the Great Hall. That is where we found the remains of Nestrin and the demons. I assume that he killed them in a confrontation, but we must make sure of that. Please, help me clear the area so that I can study it. You know, Hawkblade, buddy, I feel like this investigation would have been a bit easier if we had just started in the back and then worked our way forward. Though, I suppose then we would have seen events out of order. What's wrong, Count? Did you really expect me to do courtly waltzes? I don't feel like I'm the one leading this dance. Don't try to weasel out of it now. You're not leaving this table until the music is over. Yep, that seems about right. There is a feverish gleam to Darren's eyes, owing to either tipsiness or some overabundance of emotion. Oh there, Creed. I utterly loathe you for persuading me to ask Seela to dance. It was the most abominable experience of my life. I absolutely must do it again. Just let me catch my breath. So, how are you enjoying the party? Are you having a good time? How about you, Darren? Are you having any fun? Of course I'm having fun, Darren says defiantly. What's wrong? Do you want me to spend my whole life in fear and mourning, blaming myself for what happened? Fine, let's change the subject. I thought the unique ambience of Heaven's Edge and the fact that we're on the very border with a world wound would make this celebration special. I thought the past would resurface and make itself known. Darren smirks bitterly. Well, it seems even ghosts don't wish to attend my parties anymore. What can we do to liven up the evening? Well, as a follower of Caden Callion, I think there's only one real option here. You know what I think? I think it's time for a drinking contest. Yes, the tried and trusted method for salvaging a dull party. For salvaging anything, actually. I am ready, but who's my competition? 16 in Constitution. I think we've got a pretty good shot at this. Who do you think, Darren? Me, of course. What's this? The commander himself, the hero of Canabras, the chosen one, is challenging me to a drinking contest. I'm in. Let's drink until one of us falls unconscious, or begs for mercy. That was just a little warm-up, I say. Up for more? Let's continue. Oh, are we done here, or are you ready for another round? Let's continue. My grandfather, or maybe my great-grandmother, put this bottle in the family cellar. And it proved loyal to the scion of the illustrious Hernandez. Ha! Why didn't I bet you'd lose? My kindness and generosity truly know no limits. Darren looks a bit unsteady on his feet. I don't feel very well. Hey everyone, let's go back outside. I need to get some fresh air in my lungs. Here we are again, Commander. Leodor looks grim but focused. So, let us take another glimpse into the past. A ripple of laughter flows through the hall. It begins as a sweet, charming chuckle, but then turns into a rasping cackle that makes Darren huddle even deeper into his corner. Why are you running from me, my sweet prince? Come on, let me touch you. I'll give you... The booming voice of an old man dressed in Iomedean robes shakes the walls of the hall. Get away from him, demon! Let the boy go! By the blade of the Inheritor, you touch him only over my dead body! You are pathetic, old cleric. Are you the guardian of this charming little prince? Well, you guarded him in vain. The disease is already circulating in his blood, and soon he will rot before your very eyes. You won't be able to help him, and I can at least make sure his death is beautiful, clean, and sweet. The demoness turns her eyeless face to Darren and licks her lips. A coarse laugh escapes the young man's throat. We'll see about that. Leodor turns toward you in astonishment. Droplets of sweat glisten on his temples. Something is wrong, Commander. My spells are not working as expected. It's as if some kind of a supernatural explosion occurred here 10 years ago, blending everything together. The magical auras, the emotions, the memories. I will try again to read it. Could it be dangerous? I cannot say for certain, but it is unlikely. The past is in the past, and no one can travel through time, except for some uniquely powerful entities like Aeons, or perhaps the eldest of the First World. Even though the past of this place is horrible, it poses no threat to us in the present. All right, please continue. Just give me a moment to focus. I will try to channel my visions and feelings to you as accurately as possible. Darren, my boy, what is going on? Leodor's muscular shoulders suddenly begin to shake. The vision he is channeling does not change, but you feel something enormous and chilling silently infiltrate the reality around you. The presence of this nameless being becomes almost palpable. Some alien entity is talking to him. Hurry, old cleric, stop him right now. Do you really want to see what happens when... Save me. Can you save me? The presence thickens into something more tangible. The entity is silent, but you feel your blood pulsing in your temples, and each beat brings a new image, or rather, a new notion. Help brings a feeling of relief and safety. Exchange makes the pulse stronger, more demanding. Gate and secret come immediately after. The images become heavier, almost visible. Secret. Keep the secret. Otherwise, death. 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 The gruesome images swirl through your mind, filling it with pain and fear. And then it all starts again. Help. Exchange. Secret. Death. Nestrin stretches out his shaking hand, suddenly looking like a doddering old man instead of a mighty cleric, imbued with holy power. Darren, wait! The thing you're about to let loose is even worse than these demons! Darren's body is quivering like a taut bowstring. His eyes dart from the cleric to the demoness, who is frantically casting protective spells. Demons, saints, I'm so fed up with all of you! Burn! Oh boy, y'all right? Leodor opens his eyes with a groan, then gets back on his feet. His legs are wobbly, his eyebrow is cut, but he seems not to notice. Sincere sorrow is written on his face, as well as a strong hint of horror. What a misfortune. No, what a disaster. Everything is far worse than I imagined. Are you all right? The strain, the emotions, they overwhelmed me and made me faint like an agitated youngster. It is nothing, really. I will not be able to cast any spells for the rest of the day. But aside from that, I'm fine. Do you understand now what happened 10 years ago? The Inquisitor slowly exhales through clenched teeth and says in a low voice, still massaging his temples. Yes and no. Damn it, my thoughts are astray. I will try to explain everything to you in full detail. Many living things are capable of performing the most extraordinary feats, good or bad, when a deadly threat looms over them. 10 years ago, the young Count found himself cornered, in every sense of the word, and he allowed some alien entity to intercede for him. It frightens me that all my experience as an Inquisitor is completely useless in this case. It does not resemble anything I've ever heard or read about. This entity, I think I will call it the Other, possesses uncanny power. It was capable of instantly killing 3 greater demons, a mighty cleric, and a host of other mortals. You saw everything yourself. What's even worse is that this entity, this Other, it is still here. Leodor takes a long pause. His gaze is drawn to the chamber where all the guests are laughing and dancing. Darren's eloquent voice rises above the music for a moment. He's asking someone to bring more wine and add more logs to the fire. I don't know what exactly this creature is, but I know what it did to the Count. It turned him into a living gateway. The Other is not inside the Count's body. It is not directly controlling his mind. That's why there are no obvious signs of possession. But it is looking through his eyes. It treats him like a window into our world, and it can instantly step through it to wreak whatever havoc it desires. Does Darren know about all this? Yes, of course he does. Did you hear what the Other tried to convey to us? Help in exchange for a secret. Death. Death to those who know the truth. It wants to have an opportunity to use the Count as a gateway without anyone knowing. This is what made Darren deny that he remembered anything about the conclusion of the events at Heaven's Edge. What might this Other want? This is the strangest thing about it all. It came to this world 10 years ago, and it's still here, right? All this time it has been watching us through the eyes of the Count. Had it, for instance, wanted to kill Her Majesty the Queen, it would have had plenty of opportunities to do so. The Count can get close to practically every influential figure in Mendev, but the other refuses to act. Or its interests lie in some other sphere. Did the other kill everyone, then? The disease was not to blame? Not everyone. Just Nestrin, his paladins, and the few remaining guests. Damn it. I know that it was the work of a mysterious omnipotent entity, but it still stings. I was here 10 years ago, and I didn't check everything personally. And those who did failed to sense that something was wrong. You think this would explain the severed heads I kept finding back in Canabras? It seems very likely. I am almost certain you are right. People tend to lose their heads when they get too close to Count Arende anyway. Ha! I do apologize, that was inappropriate. Perhaps your gruesome findings are the heads of some cultists who tried to kidnap the Count during the Canabras slaughter? Or perhaps they provoked the other in some other way. I think we did find some cultists who were decapitated post-mortem. Well, we should probably do something about this. Yes, now I understand Father Nestrin perfectly. I must make a crucial decision despite a dearth of information. The Inquisitor falls silent for a while. Then he looks you right in the eye. Commander, first and foremost, I must apologize to you. Second, I must ask you to keep this a secret. What are you so sorry for? I apologize for dragging you into this mess. You see, the other, an entity of immense power, stated very clearly that it would kill anyone who found out the truth. Anyone who knows that the Count is actually its living gateway. I suppose the secret is currently known to 3 people on Golarion. You, me, and Count Darren. And that means... Leoder gives you a crooked smirk and shrugs. Why should I keep it a secret? As soon as the Count finds out that we know his secret, the other will understand it as well. We do not know what it is, and what exactly is the scope of his powers, but we do know that it could dispose of anyone who might reveal its presence. I've made my decision, Leoder says gravely. I will not tell anyone about the discovery we've just made, not even the Queen or my superiors. Instead, I will immediately go to Neurosian and sift through all of the archives of the Inquisition in order to find out what exactly we are dealing with and how it can possibly be defeated. I may also make some cautious inquiries in other places, including Absalom. Still, I will not reveal the truth until I have found at least some reliable information. I'm asking you to do the same. Specifically, do not say a single word about our investigation to the Count himself. So, what, you want me to lead the Crusade while carrying a bomb that may explode at any moment? I'm afraid that you won't be able to hide from the consequences when this bomb does explode. It is up to you to decide, though. Fine, I understand. I'll keep it a secret. Leoder lets out a sigh of relief. You've made the right choice. I recommend that you go back to the guests and spend the rest of the evening as you please. Anything else might raise suspicions. I must leave immediately in search of the knowledge we all need so desperately. Farewell, Commander. May the light of Iomade guide your path, and Leoder Hawkblade will try to keep your path to triumph clear of any unwanted guests. Well, this is quite a pickle. Ember? You know what I just realized? Darren was afraid to come here, and so that's why he did it. Because of that fear. Huh, okay. You know what? That actually helps a little. Thank you. Darren? Buddy? I don't know if my opinion matters to you at all, but you are the very best guest I could ever wish for. Well, given recent information about some of the other guests you've invited over, I'm not sure exactly how flattering that is, but thank you. Thank you. I should really get going. Gotta be up early in the morning for this whole Crusade thing. The world wound awaits. Okay, so that was a trip and a half. Came here for a party, walked away with information about an impending apocalypse brought on by mysterious elder gods. About par for the course, I'd say. It's the festival in Canabras all over again. We should really stop going to parties. Anyway, I do find it intriguing. The arc surrounding Darren, it does overlap with what I was expecting. The death of his family being the cause, to a certain extent, behind his loathing for the Crusade and the people who would glorify it. But then, of course, they also raised the stakes significantly by adding in the whole Elder God thing. His mother, for example, allowing herself to die for the greater good to protect the people of Canabras. You know, that would certainly go a long ways towards explaining his loathing for the Crusade and the priests and even just the general concept of doing things for the greater good. But then, on top of that, you add in the stuff with the Elder God, and his sympathy for Horgus suddenly makes a whole lot more sense. It's not just that they were both children caught in these horrible situations, but he also made a terrible mistake as a youth, just like Horgus did, and now is living with the consequences. Although, in this case, Darren is in much more over his head than Horgus. It also makes me wonder if the reason why Darren constantly puts on this deliberately abrasive persona is because he's afraid people who get close to him will end up getting hurt. In fact, who knows, maybe there are cases in the past where he has gotten close to people and then they've ended up as a head in someone's backpack somewhere. Alright, we're running a bit long here, so I think we're at a good stopping point. We'll hit the pause button for now, but we will pick things up here next time as we go investigate the Lost Citadel. And, in theory, usher in the end of this series. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. Links are in the description.
Live every day like it's your last.